This is Star City News, live at 5.
Welcome to Star City News. I'm Amsley Sinkvile.
And I'm Michael Shively. The city is in a state of emergency, and for what? Potholes.
They have become such a serious issue, Public Works is forced to use additional resources and employees. We go live to Star City's Rachel Hofstra. She has more.
Go? No? I'm here live at 10th Street as we see traffic swerving and bumping on all the potholes. The holes are lining the street, which is causing issues for many. Mayor Beitler said potholes are more than inconvenient. They can also be costly and dangerous. I've been talking to many drivers today as they talk about their different experiences and problems they've had with the holes.
Me and my boyfriend were driving to the stadium and we weren't really paying attention, and we just hit a pothole, and his tire blew out.
Oh my god, they're so huge. I almost caught my tire a couple times today. They're just ginormous right now.
Employees will be back out here tomorrow in full force as they attempt to get the project done in 2 to 3 days. They had nearly 50 employees yesterday and just as many working on it today. About 1,700 holes got filled in one day and the same the next. So keep your eyes on the road, not only for the potholes, but also for the employees as they finish up. Reporting live from 10th Street, I'm Rachel Hofstra.
That's open. Yeah, it's open.
Stand by.
Thanks, Rachel. This will be an ongoing problem for Lincoln due to the drastic weather changes we've been experiencing. But Public Works hopes to have the pothole problems fixed by this Saturday.
Lincoln crime rates fell to their lowest levels since 1970, according to the Lincoln Police data released today. The key points from their 2014 crime report include major crimes decreasing by 2.9%. Part 2 crimes like forgery and vandalism dropped by 5.4%, and all of the city's murders were solved. Accidents, however, went up by nearly 0.5%, and fatal accidents tripled. 14th and Superior was the most dangerous intersection, featuring 31 accidents.
A deadly drug has made its way to the Midwest.
And it's cheap and easy to get. Star City's Brent Bonfleur has spent the last 6 months investigating the impact of K2.
He joins us now live. Brent, for those who don't know about this over-the-counter product, what is it?
Yeah, here's what we're talking about. It's an 1.5 ounce bag of what's called K2, or synthetic marijuana. I bought this at a smoke shop at 33rd and Y Street right here in Lincoln. It was so easy to get. It only cost $10, which is why police say it's a popular choice among teens. But one Nebraska family had never heard of the drug until it killed their 18-year-old son. Greenwood, Nebraska, population 531. But that's before 18-year-old Billy Tucker died.
Phone rings, and it's my son's friend telling me my son is dead.
Those words continue to haunt Kelly and Steve Tucker every single day. Their firstborn, Billy, or Tuck as he was known around town, would never come home again. They were frantic to see their son.
And we got to the scene and they wouldn't let us in the house. They would not let us do nothing. We confronted the people that he was with, and the kid said Billy sat over in the corner at a party and smoked K2. That's what we heard.
There were 6 people at a party with Billy the night before he died. They described how he reacted after smoking K2.
He started into seizures and vomiting, so they put him in a bedroom and they continued to party.
While they continued to party, Billy lay dying. Authorities say smoking K2 was like rolling dice. You never know what you're gonna get.
We've seen horrible reactions to include hallucination, paranoia, where people put themselves in dangerous situations. We've seen people run out into traffic. We've seen people jump out of windows.
K2 consists of dried herbs that are sprayed with chemicals, some of which are found naturally in marijuana. It's supposed to mimic the effects of THC, but experts say it's more potent, and its highs more deadly. Last year, Lincoln police issued more than 220 citations for possession of synthetic marijuana, 1 for every 5 given for regular pot. Anyone can buy K2 over the counter, and there are no laws regarding its sale, even to minors.
Yeah! Thanks for your support!
The Tuckers feel it's up to them and their community to help create laws aimed at stopping the sale of K2. Last November, a group called Rise Against K2 rallied in front of this Lincoln smoke shop.
It's affecting high schoolers, middle schoolers. It's even, I mean, there's 40-year-olds that are doing this like crazy, and everyone's doing it.
The group is made up of former K2 addicts like Cody Murphy. He used K2 for the first time when he was just 14. He smoked it almost non-stop for the next 2 years.
I mean, I don't even know how many times I woke up in the middle of the night with cold sweats and threw up, and it's really bad stuff.
Murphy hopes protests like this will raise awareness of the dangers of this drug.
If we don't stop it now, what's this going to do? It's going to progress, it's going to get worse, more people are going to figure out what it is, more people are going to get addicted to it, it's going to destroy more lives.
Hey, Mom, it's me, I'm with James, so when that's over, I'll come get you, come home, okay, bye.
That was the last time the Tuckers heard their son's voice, left on the family's phone just hours before he died.
Oh, I ache at what could have been. This boy had so much going for him. Oh, he was my life. I lost my best friend that day. I lost my heart. I mean, everything. Everything. I mean, he was everywhere. But I wanted to go to Omaha. You want to go with me, Tuck? Yeah, let's go. He always knew that there was food on the receiving end. As they say, you win a man's heart through his belly.
That flower he has in that hand,
That's the one he gave you?
that's the one I did not know they did that. There's no describing. There's none. There's no way to put any kind of label on when you lose your son or any child.
That was the first time Kelly Tucker has spoken about her son's death on camera. Her husband Steve is planning a protest against K2 outside the state capitol later this year. Back to you, Michael and Amsley.
So Brian, I don't really understand. If this drug is so dangerous and killing people, how is it still being sold in Nebraska?
Well, Nebraska has passed laws in the past banning certain strands of K2, but it's sort of a losing battle. Manufacturers stay one step ahead by changing one or two chemicals and creating a product that's similar but has a different chemical makeup that falls outside the language used in the laws. It takes months to pass legislation. It only takes a few days to get a new drug on the shelf.
Coming up after the break, Star City's Kelsey Murphy has an in-depth investigation into the outbreak of STDs in Omaha.
And we'll have your full forecast for the week when we return.
Nebraska is known for being a conservative and laid-back state, meaning most Nebraskans are unaware of one haunting statistic.
Omaha, Nebraska's largest city, has the highest rates of STDs in the country. Star City's Kelsey Murphy has the details. Kelsey, is this correct?
Unfortunately, it is correct. Douglas County STD rates are at an all-time high. In 2012, there were more than 4,000 cases reported, but officials believe the number is much higher. The problem? Teens are uninformed and don't get tested. That's why Omaha city leaders produced a new multimedia campaign that some are calling provocative. The campaign is a new approach to an old problem.
I am a student, a sister, a friend, and I have a sexually transmitted disease. I might experiment, but I'm not a whore.
The message is simple: get checked. In Douglas County, Nebraska, sexually transmitted diseases are at epidemic levels. Anyone is at risk, including this 20-year-old. In the last 2 years, she had chlamydia twice and tested positive for gonorrhea. Because STDs come with a stigma, she does not want to be identified. We'll call her Monica.
It hurts trying to tell people, well, I had this many STDs, I've had this, I've had that, you know.
Brenda Council wants to change the stigma associated with STDs. She wants to take away the fear.
They see an STD as a death sentence. They see it as being isolating, you know, and that if it's known that you have an STD, people will shun you.
The former Nebraska state senator now leads the Adolescent Health
Campaign, a sustained campaign of awareness.
This bus stop is part of a multimedia campaign. It also includes a website, radio, and TV commercials. It was recently introduced to community leaders.
It's a plan the Omaha mayor supports.
The Adolescent Health Project will help us achieve our goals to be a healthy and an extraordinary city.
The goal is to show anyone can get an STD. The athlete, the genius, the star of the school play.
A friend, and I have a sexually transmitted disease.
In Omaha's Douglas County, chlamydia and gonorrhea rates are higher than state and national averages. In fact, Omaha has one of the highest chlamydia rates in the country, higher than Boston, higher than Los Angeles.
This campaign and these pictures and these messages hopefully are going to say to the young people, let's talk about this. Or to the parents, what does this mean to our young people?
How important is educating teens or young adults on the spread of STDs?
It will really change, like if you put it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or whatever, like a lot of people will acknowledge that, listen. They might not act like it, but at the end of the day, they're gonna listen to that.
You don't have to be a slut. You don't have to be a whore. You don't have to be a thought. Anyone can get one.
Monica admits she's a good example of being uninformed, but she says she's learned an even more important life lesson.
Respect yourself.
I'm not a whore.
Whatever I am, it's not a villain.
If there's one thing I'm not, it's a slut.
How is one media campaign going to make a difference? Well, I'll tell you. The campaign is just part of the Adolescent Health Project. Community leaders are also working to increase sexual education in middle schools, encourage more testing, and pushing the use of contraception. Depending on this campaign's success, Omaha plans to recreate something similar next year, but for teen pregnancy.
Thanks for that report, Kelsey. Nebraska groundwater levels fell for the second year in a row as the state is still reeling from the 2012-2013 drought. The 2014 Nebraska statewide groundwater level monitoring report said that average water levels fell half a foot over the course of the year. Southeast Nebraska is one of the most impacted regions, with some wells dropping as much as 5 feet.
Nebraska broke the top 10, becoming one of the healthiest states in 2014. According to Health Magazine, Nebraska is the 10th healthiest state. The report based the rankings off of the state's low rate of drug deaths, high rate of high school graduations, and high immunization coverage among children. Nebraska moved up one spot from their 2013 report.
Well, Amsley, with the football team and basketball team struggling, it's nice that the state can get in the top 10 somehow.
True, but it is really good that they're just figuring out our health and that they're having a good coverage on that, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, we'll be right back with your weather.
And now, a look at the forecast with Star City Weather.
So as we take a look at our satellite image, we've got a low pressure system dominating the Midwest that's keeping clouds on the eastern half of the state, which is also keeping our temperatures into the 30s and 40s, while the central portion of Nebraska is up into the 60s. With more on your weather, here's Emily Lockenmeyer.
Thanks, Casey. Let's take a look at our current weather conditions here in Lincoln. 41 degrees and sunny. That fog has gone away from this morning, and we're finally getting to warm up a little bit for the day. Southwest winds from 10 to 15 miles an hour, and we'll see those progressively drop into the evening. Looking at our almanac for the day, 27 was our low, 41 was our high. As you can see, it was above average for this time of year, but not as high as that record high that I know we all wish we were experiencing now. Looking at our state temperatures though, 51 in Valentine, 62 in McCook. As Casey said, those western temperatures are going to be a lot higher due to that cloud cover that they didn't experience this morning versus the eastern half here. 36 in Omaha, 41 up in Sioux City, and these mid-30, low 40 temperatures throughout the east. Looking into tonight's temperatures though, 23 degrees, mostly cloudy. As you can see, like I said, those southwest winds, 5 to 10, gonna drop a little bit from what we're experiencing now. And then throughout the evening hours, we're gonna see a switch coming from the north-northwest, and those winds are gonna pick back up 15 to 20 miles an hour into tomorrow. So if you're headed out, make sure you put some rocks in your pockets so you don't blow away. Looking into our surface map here, we see this low pressure system sitting over top of the Dakotas. That's going to be moving through the Nebraska area, and what's going to bring us some colder temperatures into tomorrow and those higher wind speeds. As that cold front moves through, we can see that it'll move all the way south, and this high pressure system that's currently up in Canada will be moving into our areas and give us fair temperatures towards the end of the work week. Looking at tomorrow, 31 degrees, and it's going to be those high winds, 28 plus mile per hour gusts, so be watching out for that. 24 degrees come 9 a.m., warming up to that high at 3 p.m., and then once you're headed home from work, it'll be 26 degrees. Looking at the week ahead though, like I said, those Wednesday into Thursday, breezy, 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 so make sure you're watching out for that and are prepared. 31 degrees on Wednesday, 26 on Thursday. We're going to warm up to our highest temperature of the week, 46 degrees on Friday. Come Valentine's Day, we're going to drop back down 25 degrees. So perfect snuggling weather if you're going to be spending that day with your sweetie. Looking into the following work week, Monday 45 degrees and Tuesday 36. So you can see we have this roller coaster effect of temperatures, but nothing too low for us to be worried about. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Emily. I don't know about you, but I'm not looking forward to that wind. I'm not into the whole blustery.
Yeah, Emily, I'm just hoping that this weather doesn't create any more of those potholes we talked about earlier.
No kidding. I am looking forward to Friday, though. It's going to be absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. Omaha-based think tank, the Platt Institute, is arguing for Nebraska prison reform. The Institute hosted a press conference at the Capitol today to promote their new report. Some of their suggestions include increased use of drug courts and having nonviolent offenders serve sentences in community work release centers instead of prisons.
A new bill will be introduced to the legislature after the firing of a pregnant woman made national news in December. Senator Heath Mello says employers should provide reasonable accommodations for pregnant workers. Currently, a woman cannot be fired for being pregnant. However, she can be terminated when unable to perform her duties. Mello says pregnant women should be given the same protections as workers with temporary disabilities.
Amsley, did you get to watch the Grammys this weekend?
I did. I only got to watch the very beginning, though, but I did hear there was a little joke.
Yeah, I heard about that too, but turns out it might not have actually been a joke.
Interesting. Well, we'll have all of that and more from our social media reporter, Rebecca Sutter, after the break.
Welcome back. I'm Rebecca Sutter, and here's what's trending in social media today. Better be careful what you tweet. Thanks to a deal between Twitter and Google, tweets can now be searched instantly in a Google search. This isn't the first time Twitter has reached out to a major search engine. Twitter also has similar deals with Bing and Yahoo. One of the strangest moments during the Grammys on Sunday came when Beck won Album of the Year over Beyoncé. Kanye West went on stage to interrupt Beck. At the time, people thought it was a joke in reference to West's 2009 VMA appearance where he cut off Taylor Swift's acceptance speech for Best Female Video. And who was the person Taylor Swift beat back in 2009? Beyoncé, of course. As for his latest stint at the Grammys, Kanye says it wasn't a joke. Beck was even surprised that he won the Grammy over Beyoncé. Beck said, quote, "I thought she was going to win. Come on, she's Beyoncé. You can't. Please tell everybody, man, I still love West and think he's a genius. I aspire to do what he does." Obviously, Beck isn't too offended for being upstaged. Remember when Charles Manson got engaged late last year? Well, the engagement is off. The ex-future Mrs. Manson, Afron Elaine Burton, wanted to put his corpse in a glass crypt and use it as a tourist attraction. Talk about creepy. When Manson found out about Burton's plan, he called off the engagement. Manson is serving a life sentence for murder at a California state prison and will be eligible for parole in 2027. For stories like this, check out our Twitter and Facebook page at Star City News 15. Back to you.
The man behind the 12 armed robberies was caught over the weekend and faces his arraignment today. 32-year-old David Burley, along with Kelly Smith and Ramon Ford, worked together, picking out which businesses to hit and when. The trio will likely face extensive jail time.
Lincoln resident John Johnson was arrested yesterday on suspicion of armed robbery. Police say Johnson approached a student at 16th and R Street around 3 p.m. and demanded his wallet before making off with his stocking cap. Students were immediately notified of the robbery via text and email from UNL Alert. Our U-News reporter Devin Cleach has more on that new UNL Alert program that reaches out to all faculty and students.
Thanks, Michael. After that robbery on campus, a UNL alert was sent to emails and registered phones. This semester, alerts are automatically sent to student and faculty email addresses to keep them safe during alarming situations. Mark Robertson, the Emergency Preparedness Coordinator, says it is to the students' benefit in emergency situations to keep them safe and make the right decisions. If you are not already registered, you can sign up by logging in to your MyRed account and registering your phone or changing your email. On campus today, UNL will host the Spring Career Fair in the Union. Career Services aims to help students looking for an internship or a job in the fields of engineering, technology, and science. Many businesses from within the state and also from across the country will be there to give advice and potentially secure a job for students after college. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, but Heart Week is just getting into rhythm. Heart Week brings awareness to the shocking reality that heart disease is one of the major causes of death in the U.S. Fraternities and sororities are helping promote heart health. For example, Alpha Phi has events throughout the week and will show their support by passing our heart suckers in the Union. UNL organizations will have a special day on Valentine's Day. In your campus news, I'm Devin Cleach, and let's send it back to Michael and Amsley.
Now, Amsley, I noticed you're wearing your red for Heart Week.
I am. You know, I think it's just a great cause, and I'm so happy that there's an entire week dedicated to it.
Yeah, I'm wearing red just for the Valentine's Day week, but, you know, it could work for this Heart Week as well.
You're right. I mean, it definitely does. And later in sports, we'll get why you should not wear red tonight at their basketball game. But right now, we're going to toss it to entertainment with reporter Doug Lowry.
I'm Doug Lowry, bringing you your entertainment news for the day. Sad news coming from Atlanta, Georgia. 2 news outlets have confirmed that Bobby Christina Brown, the daughter of Whitney Houston, will be taken off life support tonight at midnight. Brown has been in a coma since January 31st. The Brown family decided to remove the life support at midnight so that Bobby Christina will pass on February 11th, the same day that her mother Whitney Houston passed 3 years ago. Stir Cove in Omaha has announced that Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter Hozier will be playing a show July 31st. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. Spider-Man is set to rejoin his Marvel Comics cohorts 16 years after Tobey Maguire flew through the streets of New York. Sony has announced a deal with Marvel Studios that will have this web-slinging superhero appear in the next Captain America's movie, set for release May 6th of 2016. Finally, NWA has made headlines one last time. During the Grammys, viewers were treated with the trailer for the upcoming film, Straight Outta Compton. The biographical film will tell the story of Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, and Ice Cube as they become world-famous members of NWA. That's all for entertainment news. I'm Doug Lowry. Let's send it back over to Amsley and Michael.
Amsley, I think that would be so cool if Spider-Man was in the Avengers movies. They're already so action-packed, and with Spider-Man, they could only get better.
I know, I love it. And speaking about action, let's toss it over to John Kipper with sports.
Mike Tyson, Ray Lewis, and even Matthew McConaughey are just 3 celebrities that have been called on to give their favorite teams a little fire before big games. Well, Coach Tim Miles is now employing that strategy as he called upon Bud Crawford to give the basketball team a boost before the top squad in the Big Ten, Wisconsin, comes to town. Crawford, an Omaha native, is undefeated and is the World Boxing Organization lightweight champion. Miles felt like the team has been a little stagnant over the past few games, and he wanted to bring in a different voice to inspire the team. And yes, to help motivate the team, he brought his lightweight title belt with him, and of course, Tim Miles tweeted about it. The Huskers are certainly going to need some motivation this evening, since the 5th-ranked Badgers have won 6 straight and dismantled the Huskers earlier this year in Madison, 70-55. They're led by 6'11" Frank Kaminsky, who is not only in the running for NCAA Player of the Year, but he also could be the #1 pick in this year's NBA draft. He had 22 points when the 2 teams faced off earlier this season. The Huskers desperately need this one if they hope to stay in the NCAA tournament conversation, since they'll likely need 6 of their last 7 games just to make a compelling case for the big dance. The Huskers have been pretty tough to beat at home lately, as they've won 5 in a row at Pinnacle Bank Arena. The game tonight is at 8 p.m. and Tim Miles has called for a whiteout. Therefore, he wants Husker Nation to wear nothing but white shirts tonight. The Husker softball team exploded offensively this past weekend in Las Cruces, New Mexico, scoring 55 runs in only 5 games. They went 4-1 in that 5-game span. Those 4 wins got Coach Rhonda Revelle that much closer to her landmark 850th win at Nebraska. Revelle is the longest tenured head coach at NU, as she has been with the program since 1993. During her time there, she has been conference coach 4 times. She's also been inducted in the Collegiate Softball Hall of Fame. It's not going to be easy, though, since they need 3 victories, and the Huskers travel to Tallahassee, Florida this weekend, and they'll play Florida State 2 times. Florida State is ranked 5th in the country. That's going to do it for me for sports. I'm going to throw it back to the anchor desk, Amsley and Michael.
Thanks, John. Amsley, I'm excited for the game tonight. How about you?
Oh, I'm so excited for the game. And you know what? That's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for watching.
Have a good night.